So, is the colors important in the design or any other design, prototyping or graphic design? Yes, color is important. Otherwise, most of our post designs and graphic designs will be black and white. So yes, color is important, and it is one of the attraction for the viewer to be attracted. Okay, so basically there are three kinds of colors. These are the RPG, HSL, and Cmyk. So RPG is red, blue, and green. So it is obvious. R is red, blue, and green. I think most of you guys maybe know about it, and today's video is especially about the color theory. So if you know about the color theory, you can skip these videos because in the last week I told about today. This week I will post about color. So that's why I posted these videos. So RPG is blue, red, blue, and green. So HSL is hue, saturations, and light, and CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and key. So basically, RBG and CMYK, these two, okay, is a little weird. Okay, these two are used for design, digital design, and CMYK is mainly used for printed design. So you can divide into two things. This two is for the first two is for digital design, and the second two is for printing. Because the reasons of using CMYK as the printing is because it is more accurate for print, especially for the printer to print. So yes, CMYK is mostly used for printing. Okay, so the second thing is how to use RPG or HSL or CMYK and the Affinity Designer. The software that I am using right now is Affinity Designer, and how do we use it? It's simple. In the right corner, there's a color tag right here in my cursor. It's going there, and you can see this is a hue wheel. So, what is hue wheel? So, these colors, this outer layer cycle is a hue. Okay, this is the color. This is the red hue, orange, yellow, green, blue, etc. Okay, this is the hue wheel. So this, if I change the outer color, I am changing the hue. If I change insides of this cycle, it is changing saturations and light. Okay, it might be a little confusing, but it's simple. Okay, I will put. Okay, there are two types of color. This is the stroke, and this is the fill. What are these? Is okay. I am tight a word, just a word. Okay, this is a word. I mean, this is a text. Okay, I have using this fill, and it is gradient. I will change into a simple color, for example, black. Okay, this is the fill color. If I change this into this one, the stroke is changed into black, but there's no insides of it. Okay, if I change the fill into red, okay, it is not too obvious, but if I zoom in, the stroke is black color and the fill color is red. You can see this in the video. Okay, so if I change the stroke to be obvious, like okay, blue, this is a little much more obvious. The stroke color is blue and the fill is red. So that means you can change whether of it in this here. Okay, I think you will be differentiate between the fill and the stroke. Now let's talk more about the hue. Okay, so like I said, the outer color is changing the hue. You can see H here. That is the meaning of you're changing the hue. Okay, and if I change the inner cycle in like this, the S and the lights are changing along with it. So okay, so can I see detail about HSL? Yes, you can double click uh, this field or the stroke, and you can see this is the H. And if you change this, the color, the H is changing, but not as NL. Okay, for example, the primary color is your favorite color is red. Okay, and This is not the red you want. This is you want a little darker red. Okay, so you have changed the color H, and you have to change the S and L. So you have to change the inner cycle into the red one. Done. This is how you change the color. Okay, this is if you right now you can see the detail of it. This is HSL section. This is RPG. This is the hash, and the hex is you can copy the hex color hex, but okay, this is not that important. Yes, sometimes in some case it is important, but not right now. This is Cmyk. So like I said before, if you are drawing a print like a business card or maybe something like a poster design for offline marketing, you need to use Cmyk to be more accurate, and you shouldn't use gradient color like this one. This is the gradient color, and I will show you how to use it. The gradient color, but this is not appropriate for printed design. The reasons of it is not appropriate for printed design is because in gradient it is not just to color. It is not just to HSL or RBG or something like it. They are combinations of color. You can see this is the okay. You can see RGB here, and the RGB is changing, and in O, RBG is again changing a little bit. And so okay, I will show you with a box, then I think that might be more visible for the beginner. Okay, so if I change this box into a gradient, okay, how do we change it? Easy. Click here, and you can see this is you can also see is fill and stroke, the same as here, but the difference is if you click here, you can see the gradient, the color, and the gradient. This is the color is just a single color, the blue, purple, red, etc. If you change gradient, you can see start point and the end point. Okay, the left one is the color that will be in left, and the right here is the color that will be in right. So for the I choose the left one and change the color into blue. Okay, this blue, and the right one into red. Change the hue and red. Okay, if this is the start point, this is the start point, and this is the end. Okay, if I check with eye drop, you can see the RGB is changing a little bit by bit, and it is changing. The value of the RGB is changing too much within in this box. That is the reason why gradient color isn't appropriate for printing, but there are some printer that is okay to print, but some printer are not appropriate to print. That also depends on your printer. But for the beginner and for the beginner who like to draw offline marketing design or prototyping, I mean the print design, absolutely avoid gradient color. Okay, so now you know about the gradient, how to make a gradient, and the fill, stroke, and hue. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, this is the next slide. Is the never put 100% saturation. What is the meaning? So if I click this box, I mean square, you can see I've chosen the red hue, which is 0, and the saturation is 100%, and the light, okay, forget about light, just 100% saturation. This is not good for design, and most of the beginner make these mistakes. So what you should do is don't put your color into 100% saturation, put it a little bit backward. Okay, why I do like this is because for the harmony, if you put 100% saturation for every color, the color is so dark and so bright. So if your photos or the designs have so many objects, the color with 100% saturation is so bright, and that can distract the other objects, so which is not a good thing to make a harmony. So to be a harmony, you need to put your saturation a little backward, not 100%, just a little backward. You want a red, yes, I get it, so don't put it just 100% red, but a little forward. But there is not much difference. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, if I put this 100% and this one a little backward, there is no difference. But like I said previously, if you have many objects and one of your objects is too much bright, like too much saturation, that can disrupt your color harmony. So it is a must avoid things to be a design. But there is an exception, like putting 100% saturation for black color is okay in some case. So that is, black is an exception, but for other colors, no, you shouldn't put, never put 100% saturation. Okay, the third slide is a color palette. So what is color palette and in what case it is useful? So this is the website prototyping before I make it. I have also made the video about it. Okay, anyway, this is the color palette that I will be used in my website in Affinity Designer. So why do I need to set a color palette first before making the designs or prototyping or anything? It's because to be a fixed design, to be a consistency design, because consistency is important in design. And if you already defined what kinds of color you will be used, it will be more easy to process in the next steps. Okay, this is for prototyping document, and I will show you with logo. Okay, this is the recent logo that I have done. And okay, the first one is I define the typography, what kinds of font I will be used. The second is color palette. So I set these 5 color palettes. This is the regular one, this is the dark side, and this is the light side. Okay, so if I already set this typography, I can easily draw the symbol and the symbol evolution, and yep, just put the color that I have defined to the logo. So which is more easy in the future step. You don't need to think about, okay, what kinds of color I will be used for the next step, and etc. So color palette is important, and to be a consistent design and to be a harmony design, color palette is a must thing you need to do. Okay, the color palette definition is, it is a predefining the color. It's that simple. Defining the color before making a design. That's it. This is the color palette. So color palette had three things. This is a regular one. This is the regular red. The hue is 0. It's the same. But I've just changed. I didn't put 100% saturation. You can see that. And for the dark side, the hue doesn't change, but I changed the inner cycle into the dark one. For the light side, I changed the inner cycle into the light one. Why didn't I change the hue? But despite of changing the saturation of light, it's because to be a harmony design. Okay, this is a trick that most of the designer use and most of the beginner make around them. Most of the beginner change hue together with saturation of light, and that is not a good thing. You just can change the saturation and light, and that will make your design different, that will make your color different. And trust me, you will get more harmony design if you just change saturation and light without changing the hue. You don't need to change the hue actually. Okay, but in some cases, yes, you need to change the hue. But okay, you got the idea. Just change the saturation of the light if you will choose the one color. Especially if you choose red for this design, you can just change just saturation of light. But if you will use 2 or 3 colors, example, your client is requested to be involved in red color and blue color and purple color, you have to change the tree hue. Okay, one for red and one for blue and one for purple. That's it. That's it, simple. But otherwise, just be a minimal and don't use too much color. Just 3 color is okay if you are a beginner, and if you can't use so many color, just 3 is okay. But because too much color will make your design less attractive and less focal point. The focal point is important because if if a viewer views the photos, there should be a focal point. Otherwise, your design, your viewer may look okay. The overall design is good, but I don't know what is the important part is. What is the main part is. That is why color is important. It is also discriminate. It is also describe. Sorry, it is also describe what is the main part of the design when you want a customer or a viewer look. So trust me, don't use too much color, just 3 is okay, and just change saturation to light for the beginner. And the third part is a generative for you. Don't use too much color. Just being minimalist. Just 3. The light one, the yellow one, and the dark one is okay. And fun fact, okay, this is the logo that I use. The regular one, but the you see this is the dark side, yes, and this is the light side. And in this color palette, the red is not totally I mean the black is not totally black. The hue is the same as here. The hue is 16 and the black hue is 16, and the saturation of light is close to the black, but it is not 100% black because I don't recommend to use 100% black, but it's okay to use. Also, for the case of the white, don't change the whole hue and just put the white color. Just change saturation of light to the lighter part to the white colors. So there a difference? Okay, my answer is not so much. You can see this is as a white color. This coyote and Samba is a white color, but actually it is not totally white. It is with the same hue and just changing the saturation light, but it is not totally white. This is totally white, and this is the color that I chose. It is different, no, but detail is always good. I recommend to make a detail. So you got an idea? But just as I said, in this genre tips, don't use too much color. It is not good for your design, and especially if you are a beginner, I didn't recommend to do it. And using just 3, 5, 7 is enough. I mostly use 3 color. And the second is find harmony. The reasons of not to, if you don't use too much, and the reasons of being suggested not to use too much is to be harmony. Too much color isn't good for you, and also don't use 100% saturation, and that can destroy your design harmony. It's like a song. Design is like a song. Color is like a song. It has to be a harmony design. And don't forget to use a set up color palette before drawing a real design. Don't never ever forget to make a color palette. It is important, and it will be much more easier for you design after designing the sketch. And you can see, okay, I already set the color palette and just use the color and done. There's nothing to rethink again. What color, what kinds of color do I need to use, and something like that. So, and the last part is practice more and bullet. This is the most important part. Just practices. The beginner design is always suck, including me. My first design is always suck. But if you practice more and more, you can find more harmony design. You can find more what color to be used and what colors are much and beautiful to the design. And that is important because you will find and you will learn more when practicing. Just watching YouTube video and just watching courses is not enough to be a good designer. You need to practice more. That's it is the only way to be a great designer. I myself is trying to learn more and more, and I don't consider that much that I am as a best designer or a great designer. I'm just learning, and I'm just sharing the tips that I know from designs that I know previously. So this is it. This is about the color, and it's much more like theory than rather than how to set a color in Affinity Designer. But I hope you enjoy the videos. Please give a thumbs up and share this video if you like, and I will see you in the next week.